All right. It looks like we might be live. Let's double check. Oh, look at that. We are live. Check that out. About damn time. For sure, it's everybody's going to say, like, where the hell has this mother effer been? All right. So, everybody, for those who do file in, yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. I was only able to do one podcast in between everything. I'm glad for those that do file in tonight. Yeah, long story short, Mickey here can vouch for me. When I get sinus infections, I get really fun ones that actually like screw with your vision, give you vertigo. Yeah, I would never wish them on anybody. So, yeah, last week I felt like the world was spinning, and even though it'd probably be fun to watch me do that on YouTube, I didn't want anybody to see me like that. So,
And he works in an environment that does not help his
yes,
allergies either. So
we have this crap that I call moon dust floating around at my job. It's not like normal dirt. No, 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 no. This stuff is like literal moon dust. You don't want to breathe it in.
yeah, they have forklifts running on the dirt constantly, so it just basically turns it into
It's basically ground asphalt turned into
right.
moon dust.
Yeah.
But all right, enough about me, my issues. Let's have some real fun though, everybody. Thank you to the couple of people that are already filing in. So let's just start from the top. Mickey, how you been? What you been playing? Feel free to just say whatever.
Well, I'm doing all right tonight, hanging out with you and all of our pals in the office. And I have been playing the First Descendant like it's been going out of style. That's pretty much all I've been playing since it came out. So we have been putting in some time trying to get Descendants to try to level. I've got a couple leveled up to 40, and I got a couple more that I'm trying to level now. So trying to progress, but yeah, been playing the First Descendant like it's been going out of style.
The fact that you guys are already at level 40 and I'm like over here like I made it to level 20 on one character.
Hmm.
Oh man.
It's funny.
Tell you what. I'm hoping and like we'll just see how much better I get at that game. Cause yeah, on Monday I found out that from the eye doctor that they're gonna be putting me in glasses because apparently I can see shit when it's really like just I can read real fine print. I can see stuff that people have to put glasses on for, but apparently I have to put glasses on because I'm not able to see like long distance. And when you're sitting like 15, 20 feet away from a television trying to like read what's on the screen, there's been some like what the hell does that say moments.
I've been in glasses for what? We've been in glasses for about 2 years now.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Well, but the funny part is 2 years. That's not bad for your age. I'm 38, man. I was like, oh, you got to be shitting me. And then, like,
Phil just said
that whole
2 years. That's not bad for your age.
Oh, thanks. I know, but I'm just saying, like, 2 years, like you're like in your mid 40s. You made it into your 40s before you needed them. Here I am, like rocking in my third. Like, yeah.
Well, when I was younger in school, I used to have to squint at the boards. So I don't know but when they checked my eyes, I always had 20/20 vision. So I
like
don't.
when like who checked you eyes? The school nurse or the actual optometrist? The school nurse that's barely paid shit. Like get him in, get him out.
No, I think they had. I
2020.
think they had like an eye person because they at the school because they did the where you read the letters through the through the eye thing and
Yeah.
or you put your hand over your eye. I'm sorry, and then you tried to read them and then you put your hand over your other eye and had to read them or whatever. So I mean, I did pretty good on those, but still, like on the boards, I kind of have to squint to see kind of far distances. So I don't know.
But is the
I
first
just
Descendant
noticed it a couple years ago.
all you've been playing?
Yeah, it's pretty much all I've been playing. That's why I've got 240s. I was leveling Rabbit a little bit before I purchased. Yes.
Well, don't go too deep into it, but
Okay.
no, I'm just
Well,
saying. But
we'll get into it whenever we get
right?
into it. So.
Well, at least for me, I have been playing a little bit of anything and everything, but that's just because I'm crazy like that. But the main thing I have been playing is, yes, I have been playing the first Descendant. I also purchased Beyond Good and Evil, the remastered version of the game. And let's just say, when I first started playing that game, and they're like, here's your camera. Take photos of all the creatures in the game and we'll pay you for it because we got to document all the creatures in the game. I was like, all right, what the fuck is that? Like, I was just like, all right, whatever this is. And like, you're just like, oh my God, like, what did I get myself into? Because I've heard a lot of people talk good things about it. And I'm like, okay, we're taking photos of like the animal wildlife. That's cool. And then it kind of like grew from there. I thought you could definitely see all the different tones in the game. Like the vendors will not like the game is like the very beginning of the game. You're under attack and you try to turn on the shields and it's like, you haven't paid your power bill. You can just go F the right off. And it's just like, oh my God. So like you have to do what you can to like hurry up and make a little bit of quick cash to like turn on your power bill. And like literally in the game, you have a credit card that you put money on for the vendors to charge. Like the vendors won't even give you the time of day. They're like, before we can talk, you got to put your card into the slot. You like put your card into the slot. They realize you got money and they're like, oh, you got money. Okay, we can talk. And I'm just like, holy shit, these are like tones of real life.
That's funny.
Definitely as the story progressed, I ended up beating that game. Yes. As far as I know, I collected at least 88 pearls. I want to say I got very damn close to basically capturing every damn freaking animal in the game on the camera. There is combat elements, but it's not very extreme. It's literally just like buttons. Dude, it was also like it was nice to play games that were that old because literally it's like you reach the end boss and the fighting mechanic is simple enough. It's literally muscle memory and you got to learn how to memorize the patterns of the end boss and fight them. And once you get them past the first stage, it does like this old school trick that I am not used to that we've all lost touch with nowadays. It's all like, Stage 2, I'm reversing the controls. So now you got to learn how to use the thumbstick freaking backwards. Oh, left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up. I'm like, dude, at this point, I'm like, I'm mad because I'm like, this is bullshit. What the hell? Like freaking, I'm like, so this is what we're going to do, or this is how we're going to crank it up instead of just like something constructive. We're just going to start reversing the controls. But at the same time, when I really thought about it, I'm like, all right, well, this was like an original, like this was an old game. And I could see now like reversing the controls. That was a good one. Okay. But, nah. So other than that, playing a little bit of like First Descendant. I've like, and I got into, oh my God, some Falls into the Deep or whatever. The game that came out on Game Pass that's on the oil rig. That is, I was playing a little bit of that last night and definitely claustrophobic being in the oil rig. They drilled into something that has unleashed some kind of wicked, it's some kind of creature because you can hear it like attacking people and like, apparently one of the people on board the oil rig is like turning into something because you could hear it like apologizing as it's killing people. So definitely an interesting game and I'm going to get more into that. Looking forward to Flintlock getting ready to come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
Are you buying it or going to play it in Game Pass?
I'm gonna try it in Game Pass first.
All right, fair enough. I feel like I could buy it, but then there was this stupid shit called Amazon Prime Day, and I'm like, fuck, I'll just play it in Game Pass.
Well, I was gonna do the same, but I'm gonna play it. Just make sure that it's it. I just want to make sure it's gonna give me that vibe, and if it does, then gosh darn right, I'm gonna freaking put money on it.
All right. Well, everybody, I see people kind of coming and going. Feel free to chat with us in the chat. Definitely looking forward to seeing your opinions. And we are going to dig right into this conversation. So let's just kind of start with a little bit of an easy one. That's interesting. So let's kind of start with a softball here. We were already talking about the First Descendant. I've got some points here. Let's just first start with Mickey. How many hours have you put into this damn game? You've already kind of hinted you've been participating in the microtransactions. Now, for starters, this is a free to play game, everybody. And honestly, I was one of those that was kind of I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to really get into it, but enough people really kind of hit me up on social media, Blue, you, everybody was talking about it. And I'm like, all right, what the hell? Why not? I'll download it. And then I started playing it and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty damn good. The mechanic is addictive. The gameplay is addictive. It has a good game loop. The shooting mechanics are very on point, at least for me. And, so let's just start with this game, in my opinion, is probably a little bit more successful than people were probably thinking. I know they're trying to say the First Descendant on Steam has a 6 out of 10. I'm not going to say the game is a 10 out of 10, but for me, it's if I am not a big fan of free to play games, and the fact that the First Descendant is a free to play game that continues having me go back and keep playing, and I'm like, all right, this is fun. I could see myself coming and going from it. And honestly, I made a joke with Blue, it's a Destiny killer. I don't really think it's the Destiny killer, but I really do feel that they're doing a better job of getting me back into a game like this style, because I gave up on Destiny 2 a long time ago. And I want to say it's kind of bitter because of how much money you've got into DLC and how much money you got into DLC. What's up, Arnie? Greetings to you. Dude, definitely suggest downloading it. I've been having fun playing it. And like I was just saying, they've done a good job of making me get back into this genre of a game, because I do feel very kind of sour about how much money I've wasted on Destiny. But now this is going to give food for thought for Mickey here. There is some people out here and this is why we're probably getting a lot of down. I think the First Descendant is getting a lot of the bad reviews, not because of anything other than the microtransactions. And this is where some, if we had if we look at some of the articles, some of the stuff that we said, they're actually referring to it as predatory monetization practices in games are widely disliked. To me, I really want to understand what is a acceptable microtransaction versus predatory. Because to me, predatory is making the game to where you absolutely cannot play it without purchasing something. That's predatory. Making a game mechanic that's pay to win, a little bit predatory. But when we're talking like, the First Descendant, because they're talking about this, it comes down to, I know where this is the conversation. It is a free-to-play game. Free-to-play games have microtransactions. Nobody in their right mind is going to spend the money it takes to create a video game just to give it to you for free. The whole reason why they create a free-to-play game is they want you to come play the game, and they want you to enjoy the game enough to where you're going to start spending your money on it. Now,
they want you to get addicted to the game.
Right. But that being said, they want you to, like, I'm going to say it right now. There is people that are paying money in this game to unlock other descendants, to unlock characters, to give them, like I'm going to say right now, you'll see it. Like, I was playing the other night. I literally fought my ass off to get into this boss fight. And right as I started the boss fight, the guy shows up with the yellow bar, and he's just like, flexing like, I'm going to beat your ass, and I'm getting ready for a battle. And then all of a sudden somebody goes rolling by in a bunny character and one-shots this guy. And all of a sudden my screen's like, mission completed. What? So that's where I feel like people are participating in the microtransactions to definitely have some OP characters. But
that, to tell you the truth, Phil, that has nothing to do with the battle pass stuff or with the microtransactions, because as you level, the guns level,
right,
and the guns get powerful. But if you go back into an area that's not very high level, you could be level 10 with a level 62 gun and most stuff down. So that has nothing to do with microtransactions.
But aren't you able to purchase crafting materials?
Well, you can, but again, you can pick up those guns.
No, I know. I'm just getting at that. You could see where people are concentrating their money on the skins for the guns, the skins for the characters, or they're not wanting to go through the grind of unlocking a character, so they just outright purchase the character.
Yeah, and I've done that. I did that too.
And you know what? That's the funny part. They give you an option to not they give you the option to not participate in the microtransactions with just play the game, grind out the character. It's not like you can't get it for free.
It might take some time to get the materials and stuff, but you can get the materials to purchase those descendants.
Right. And that's where I just feel like I don't like how the word predatory microtransactions being thrown around so easily anymore, because it's like the minute you're like asking for anything, oh my God, you're after my pocket. So what the hell? You just can't give me the game for free and quit asking me for money? Like,
it's too much bitching and whining.
Right.
Too much.
So kind of like, just go in, talk about the game. Let's get the conversation started, and let's really kind of like talk about this game, because I really do feel that this game has teeth, and it's going to be one of those games that as time progresses, as long as the developer really could keep up with the momentum that they've got.
Yes, exactly.
You never know. A couple years from now, this could be the game that's like, really causing the developers of the developers of Destiny 2 over at Bungie having to kind of like rethink themselves a little bit and creating more competition in the market for them to actually have to change their ways.
If they stick with it, they make additions, and stuff like that, and just continue to make it fun. I mean, this game could definitely, keep on running out the door, so, and I hope so, because I like the game. The game's actually really fun. And I'm enjoying it tons. And I know Blue's been playing it a lot. He's been helping me with some stuff, and I've heard of some others that have been playing it. Actually, I've heard that there's a lot of people playing it and enjoying it. So I'm having fun with the game. The game is
We've
taken up a lot of my time the last week. So
yeah, we've heard a couple people that we play games with that say that they look on their friends list and they see a lot of people playing the game that they never thought would play the game.
Yep.
Now, how many hours have you logged, do you think?
I'd say.
I'll make you go into your Xbox and look.
Oh yeah, you can do that, huh?
Yeah.
Should I say over 20? Because I've done at least 8 hours just in the last 2 days, and then over the weekend I played the snot out of it. So, heck, I'd probably say even more closer to 30.
Okay, so we'll say between 25 and 30 hours.
Yeah.
And wow. All right. Let's see. Kind of funny because I heard that the bunny descendant is probably the most powerful one. She is, but I've heard like bunny can be like a little bit of a double-edged sword. Like I've heard like Blue and all you guys have like a mixed bag when it comes to bunny. What do you think about that, Mickey?
So when we first started playing, me and Blue were kind of making jokes because we're like, we don't really like Bunny, and I played her a little bit when I first got her, and I was like, yeah, I don't really like her. And then I was running, like the little 4-man dungeons, and you'd have a bunny in there, and you're like, what the fuck? Like they're blowing through, blowing through stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take a look at Bunny again, because like every dungeon, there's at least one bunny, and they like annihilate the ads. So when I have a bunny in there, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to complain about him anymore.
Yeah, I've heard everybody as they're playing actually making jokes like, I hope we get a bunny. But I guess it just comes down to you really need to know how to play Bunny because she's more of like a crowd control character.
Yep.
So what's up, Maury? Thank you for joining the show. And yeah, you're right. The First Descendant is free to play. They need money to maintain servers. How is it that hard to understand? Well, you know how it is. Everybody thinks everything should be free. I need to log into ESO if you didn't hear that.
You got an alarm?
I got an alarm like, oh, I got to go check in ESO.
That's funny.
Tell me you're not addicted without telling me you're addicted. I mean, tell me you're addicted without you're not telling me you're addicted.
I should go get my daily.
I know I gotta I gotta get into the Gold Road expansion, but it's like I'm almost like hesitant because this is like all I've got left because I've done so much in the game that now it's like, yeah, if I finish that expansion, I'm stuck waiting for the next one. What's up, Yobi? Thank you for sharing out the stream. Thank you to you, Mari, and Arnie for coming out and joining us in the discussion.
Thank you for coming to hang.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
We're talking the First Descendant, the success that is the First Descendant, because it I feel the monetization is the reason why the game is getting a bad rap when this isn't. I have not felt at any moment with this guy here on the show freaking buying the damn battle pass with the skip ahead version of the battle pass. And he's been buying a few things. I don't know do you know if Blue or anybody has purchased anything with it?
So no, Blue has just the basic pack, which is the $10 one. I bought the one like you said that skips, but Blue just got the basic battle pass, where you get the points. I think that you can buy like the packs that have like experience bonuses, but then you can pick from like a couple of different descendants too. So I don't know if he's gotten those, but I have. So
what makes me happy about the First Descendant, especially being a free to play game, and being very heavy multiplayer-esque, is at least early in the game, you can play the game as long as you're very proficient in a shooter. You can play the game by yourself. It doesn't feel like um it doesn't
It,
feel like as like unforgiving as like something like even the Division sometimes felt a little bit unrelenting or very geared towards this game is just going to be a shit show unless you bring friends. And I've never had that moment, at least when playing the game on the standard normal difficulty without trying to go into like the hard and the veteran tiers for the better gear drops.
yeah, you'll there's certain like spots that if you're not quite prepared, they can be a bit rough. Also, some of the colossi do get a little more difficult, but overall, yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, I've been able to play it single player pretty much. There've been a few spots where I'm like, okay, I need to get a little bit better or something because I've done it a few times, but I'd say for the most part, you can pretty much single player play it.
Yes. Now, for those that haven't checked it out yet, you essentially have the worlds that you go into to play the base game. You play your little random missions. Now, as you start going through the missions in that particular region, eventually you will unlock like a dungeon mission you'll have to run to essentially cap off that region. And now as you play the game, eventually you'll start doing into what he was talking about, the Colossi or the Colossus, which are these huge battles that are like almost like group bosses or world bosses, depending on your skill set. I was able to do I was able to do the first one by myself, but that was also from a little bit of trial and error and actually figuring out the critical hit spots on it. Once I figured out where the critical hit spot was, and I'm very proficient with a sniper rifle, it basically became a very easy task. But it's definitely, I know, like I've heard you and Blue on headset, like getting into some of the fights with the other ones, and you hear a lot of cussing and emotions, at least through the headsets. There's some emotion.
There is definitely some emotion.
But so definitely, I would suggest anybody who hasn't tried it, it's a free to play game. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I'm playing as Ajax. There's 4 descendants you get to choose from when you first start the game. You go through, the game will actually help you unlock your first descendant, which happens to be Bunny. And then once it shows you how to unlock your first descendant, you can see from there, it's like, hey, this is the list of descendants that you can pick from. You can either buy them with real world money, or you can go through and find the crafting materials that are needed to research that descendant and unlock them. So I guess let's kind of transition. This is the real discussion, let's really talk about, Mickey, let's start with a conversation here. This is something I thought about after you and I kind of talked earlier today about like what we were going to talk about tonight. So let's just start with the conversation here. Can you actually remember back a couple years ago when Microsoft announced that they were going to buy Activision Blizzard?
I vaguely remember.
And this goes out to anybody in the chat. This goes out to anybody in the chat, especially also you too, Mickey. Do you remember like what your initial thoughts were when you found out? Like, was it like, is that cool? Is this possible? What was like really your initial thoughts? Because I remember, at least for some people, it was like, yeah, Call of Duty is going to become exclusive, console war, done, check in, mate, all this stuff. And so there was definitely a lot of emotions shared during that time. And I'm just kind of like wondering, like, do you remember any of yours from that particular time?
So I thought it was cool because I've played a lot of Blizzard games over the years. Um, and knowing that they would, that we'd have, all the Diablos. Um, uh, I'm still in the toss up of whether World of Warcraft, whether they're going to do that on console. But, if there's any chance that there is, that it'll come on Xbox. So I was excited about that. Um, Call of Duty, I haven't really put a whole ton of time in. I mean, we've played it, a few times, whatever, but that wasn't really one that I was thinking about. I was thinking more of like Diablo, World of Warcraft, and those. And I mean, I thought it was cool because I knew that, with those being on Xbox, hopefully we'd get, some good stuff with them and stuff. So I was excited when I saw it. I was happy because, a lot of the games that I played for years, um, aka the Diablo franchise, would be, coming to Xbox. I don't care if PlayStation gets it too. That's fine. But, you know, knowing that it's with Microsoft, that they have purchased it, that, if they keep making it, I'll be able to keep playing it. So I was super excited.
I know there was definitely a lot of excitement. There was some people that were trying to say that, Xbox has to, all of a sudden,
I didn't personally think of all the political bullshit and all that stuff and all the, I wasn't thinking about if people were going to complain about it or nothing. Honestly, that stuff never even reached a synapses in my mind. The only thing that I thought about was, okay, cool, I get to play, Diablo and stuff, because I don't get into the other stuff. If like, you have a higher, a deeper, like your feet are more in the ground with that kind of stuff, so you hear a lot of it. But I kind of just sit on the top of the water, so I never paid attention to any of that. Honest to goodness, I just thought, hey, that's cool. I get to play. They're gonna have Diablo and maybe World of Warcraft. So, I was excited about that stuff. So,
oh, I was excited. And I was excited because honestly, I remember when the whole Bobby Kotick thing took place and Activision was being dragged into like different courtrooms for doing very egregious things to the people that worked there. They found out some very horrible, let's just face it, everybody. They found out some very horrible shit that was taking place in the background to the employees at Activision and Blizzard across all their departments. They were definitely a culture of toxicity, and also being very shall we say, let's just say they were not very kind to females. We'll leave it at that.
well, correct me if I'm wrong. Blizzard was actually a decent company until I think Activision purchased them, right?
What'd you say?
Activision purchased Blizzard.
Yes.
So Blizzard was actually a pretty decent company until Activision purchased them. And I
Yes.
think that's when things kind of started,
Well, so
getting kind of shitty over there.
that's where under the rank now, like everybody, like I am not trying to build like so. I was not a fan of Bobby Kotick at all. Like covering the Activision Blizzard thing, I was actually covering uh before the Activision Blizzard deal, I was actually covering stuff on Activision being dragged into court. And
Hmm.
Yobi, I actually hear what you're saying in your thing when you found out what happened to that female developer that sadly removed herself from this world due to the things that were going on. They basically, like, some of the articles and the stuff that I read was they definitely had a culture of mistreating women. There was not equal pay, like women were paid less. There was actually documentation about how they would actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Be very biased and unsupportive of the concept that a woman would get herself pregnant, because obviously that, you know, when in that kind of an environment, you got to provide maternity leave. And yeah, like that's where you would see the kind of stuff that went on in the background. It got so toxic, Mixie. It got so toxic, Mickey, that oh my God, Mixie, I'm never going to listen. It's going to be my new pet name. No, I'm playing.
That's funny.
But no, so let's see. Arnie said, as a PC player, I thought World of War, I thought, wow, Microsoft is going to have ABK. I wonder what games will remain multi-plat and what changes are going to happen because of the cost. See, we're going to get into that in a second, like when it comes to the cost, but let's look at what was happening to the ship that was Activision Blizzard before Microsoft purchased them. Mickey, these guys were so toxic that there was documentation that some of the male executives in the area of Activision Blizzard, where their like home office was, had a specific hotel and a specific hotel room that they actually nicknamed the Cosby Room.
That's horrible.
And they tried to say it was called the Cosby Room because it had horrible wallpaper and it reminded them of Bill Cosby's sweaters from his show. And at the time, we all knew that was BS because of what was going on with Bill Cosby and what he was being put into court for.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And yeah, look at that, Blue. Yes, he heard it. New pet name. Oh, we're going to have to hear that call out later on. All right. So let's, like, dude, Bobby Kotick, the guy running Activision Blizzard, was also extremely toxic. There was voicemails of like some stewardess on a private jet that he sexually harassed, and then he basically threatened to kill her if she told anybody. Like, she actually had the voicemail of him threatening her. And that's why I was like, dude, Bobby Kotick he's a nasty individual.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was just like, oh man, freaking Activision Blizzard's like the only thing. I jokingly even said it probably in like November, December, and like November, December. And it was like, oh man, it'd be great if like Microsoft probably right now threw some money on the table and was like, how would you guys like to pull the golden parachute and get the F out? Because it sounds like you're going to probably have bigger problems because the company is wanting to unionize. You guys got a lot of issues, it sounds like. And also we were starting to see Microsoft spoke out about the toxic work environment. PlayStation spoke out about it. A lot of people in the gaming industry were speaking about the toxic work environment that was being created at Activision Blizzard. It was even mentioned at the Game Awards. And that's why I was just like, oh man, right now's the time to pounce on Activision Blizzard if you got the pockets. And I jokingly said it about Microsoft. And I swear, Scout's honor, swear on it, that this was a joke that I made. And it was, you know, I didn't even really want to call it a prediction. It was just a joke. And then January comes around and, hey, we're going to purchase Activision. We're going to throw some money in the ring and we're going to try to purchase Activision Blizzard. From that moment forward, we saw all the craziness. People, console war over, Call of Duty becoming exclusive, PlayStation's going to go out of business, all the games are going to become exclusive, blah, blah, blah. And you know, like a lot of people wanted to act like, you know, the minute you say we're going to purchase a company, it's like signed, sealed, and delivered. And then everybody found out real effing quick about how mergers and buyouts really work on a level of that nature, especially with that much money and that big of a company, and the scrutiny that goes into it. And I tried to warn everybody, oh, dude, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Just warn you, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. And I still, we don't like your attitude, man. You got to be supportive. This is going to happen. And I was like, I never said it wasn't going to happen. I said it's going to be a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
We saw tons of court battles. We saw all this shit leaked all over the internet. We saw Bobby Kotick stomp his feet in the courtroom. We saw all sorts of stuff. What's up, Vanny Kochik? Microsoft is buying ABK has more to do with business and capital gain than gaming. For example, when they bought ABK, their shares increased. They are a big corporation, and I think they will do fine. No, I'm not saying they're not going to do fine. You'll see where this conversation's going. So Microsoft fought tooth and nail, spending a lot of money to buy Activision Blizzard. They spent a lot of money in court battling Activision Blizzard. There's a lot riding, and not only that, not to mention, here's the funny part, there's a lot of money also being exchanged because Jim Ryan at the time stomped his feet in court, cried like a baby about, Call of Duty being a special game for the PlayStation brand and blah, 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 acting like Microsoft was going to take it away from them, which even he knew better. Like, even he knew if they bought Activision Blizzard that it would be stupid to stop selling Call of Duty as a multiplat because you would be literally losing a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I do appreciate that, Yobi. Definitely thank you for, shouting out my coverage of the ABK Chronicles court case. It was fun. It was some of my best work. I want to get back into doing work on that level. And yeah, I definitely saw a lot of interaction and people checking out my channel during that time. And that's what I was like, oh man, this was absolute fun. And I'm wanting to get back into that. Trust me, I'm kind of definitely working towards that. Small little blurb about my life. Mickey here knows about it. I've started my own little small business. I'm trying to grow myself to the point where I can learn how to juggle doing content and also learning to kind of stand on my own 2 feet when it comes to what I want to do as a profession. And so, yeah, there's that juggle, but definitely. Oh, they did pay Bobby Kotick way too much money, Maury. That's why we call it the golden parachute. That dude has enough money to buy a small island. But yeah, so that's more money that got put out when it comes to Activision Blizzard. And so this whole whirlwind, and now here we are, like I was saying, because of Jim Ryan and his shenanigans with Call of Duty, the CMA made this whole thing where now Xbox has to lease out at least has to give the rights of Call of Duty, what have you, or at least the I don't want to say the streaming rights, but the rights to put them in a subscription service like Ubidus, Game Pass, PlayStation Plus. Anybody who's got a streaming service is going to be able to have these games in their streaming service. And they did that by essentially making it to where the rights for doing that with the games goes to Ubisoft, who then subleases them back to Microsoft and anybody else who wants to be able to put those games into their services. So I know there's been all these people with the outcry, we want Call of Duty in Game Pass, and nobody's ever taken into the fact that Microsoft is in a weird position that even though they own Activision Blizzard, they still, if I'm correct, have to actually pay a small fee to put their own game in their own service because they didn't want, cloud rights. There we go, Blue. Yeah, they had to give up cloud rights on these games. So for them to be put into something like that, Microsoft has to almost essentially buy their own damn game. And so we heard all these people saying that they wanted the Activision Blizzard back catalog of games to be put into Game Pass. They wanted all this stuff like backwards compatibility. They need to start backwards compatibility back up. We want Transformers games. We want this game. We want that game. We got to get the Deadpool game relisted. We've got to get this Activision game relisted. All good. I totally agree with you. But like we were talking earlier with like the First Descendant, you don't create a free-to-play game without the idea of wanting to make money. You don't do backwards compatibility without the idea of wanting to make money. We don't put the back catalog of games from Activision Blizzard in Game Pass without the fucking idea of wanting to make money. I understand, regretfully, that if you want my opinion, guys, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I love Gene Roddenberry's theory on if only mankind can give up the concept of wanting to be wealthy, that mankind would make leaps and bounds and we'd be out in the stars exploring the solar systems, but it don't work like that. And that's where I can handle the realism. Like, don't get me wrong. I would love for something like that to happen, but also I'm going to accept the world we live in. And that's where I'm going to say right now, there has been some business decisions made. Like recently, let's look at it. Forza Horizon 4 is being delisted. To buy the DLC, to buy the DLC for that game, you either got to buy it with Forza Horizon 4 or it's actually bundled in with, like, I think they bundled it in with the DLC for Forza Horizon 5. So you can buy that it's like packaged in with other stuff. From a business perspective, that's freaking genius. You've created a way to somehow prioritize people to spend money on something that's being delisted while kind of like bundling it in with some other stuff you'd like to make some money on too. Yeah, you're right. When they fixed all when they fixed all those Call of Duty servers for those old Call of Duty games, all of the Call of Duty games shot up to the top 10 and they stayed there for 3 to 6 months. Insane shit to see, and they made money. Exactly. They're updating these games. I've even noticed that the cost of some of these games is actually going up, where, you actually used to sell these games for a couple bucks cheaper than they are now. And even the value of some of these games has gone up because of the improvements that they've made. Thank you, Def Leppard, for joining the show. Good evening to you. And Arnie, the thing I learned from the legal battle over ABK was that the FTC and CMA are more worried about their political posturing rather than consumer welfare. That is damn for sure. Oh my God, dude. Regretfully, there is a lot of people in those regulatory bodies that are more worried about their personal agendas and their political grandstanding than they really are about consumer welfare. That's for sure. But yeah, getting into it, we saw all these demands of what we wanted from ABK, and now here we are, couple years later. It's taken a lot to get Call of Duty games to start showing up in Game Pass. You can tell Microsoft is probably getting ready to start putting some of the ABK catalog of stuff, slowly drip feeding it into Game Pass. And then we got the whiners and the criers. Well, you can't put it in there all at once. Yes, let's just put hundreds of games in there all at once so you can no-life that shit and hurry up and get rid of your subscription. We all know that Microsoft is starting to do stuff to make it to where you just don't 30-day your subscription and then get the F out. They want to keep you resubscribing. So they're going to drip feed those games. And now also we've seen other stuff occur, like them changing the tiers on Game Pass. Blue, be sure to jump in on this one. The old Call of Duty titles should be on Game Pass. See, that's where that's where I really do think that I think they are working towards that. But one of the main concerns for the CMA, the biggest ones that were the biggest pain, the FTC basically overloaded their ass and they got laughed out of court. But the CMA were the ones that came in with, with definitely some facts and some other stuff to really throw the monkey wrench in the situation. And I think one of their main concerns was Microsoft using Call of Duty to leverage a monopoly in game subscription services and cloud services. So I think there's a little bit of a stipulation that I think that they need to be able to offer those games on a much broader scale than them arriving in Game Pass. I think that they need to be, I think what it is they have to be offered to other services before they can just end up being in Game Pass exclusively. Other services also have to be given the option to have them appear in their service as well. Drip feed me some games. I love that. If Microsoft really wanted to drop it all once, they can business-wise, but that wouldn't be smart at all. Drip feed it on a business tip. Yeah, exactly. They're going to drip feed it. Now, when I say drip feed it, we're talking like the Tony Hawks, the Crash Bandicoots, the Spyros. We're not talking Call of Duty here. I feel like Call of Duty is going to be one of those that there is a lot of red tape and fine print on, and we can all thank Jim Ryan, the CMA, the FTC, having these huge concerns that Microsoft overnight was going to somehow take over the world because they own Call of Duty. It behooves me to even to think on that level, but that was at least how it came off when you heard these guys. I still remember when the FTC was in court telling the judge, well, Your Honor, what would happen if Microsoft somehow created an exclusive game mode or an exclusive skin to their version of Call of Duty, making it to where you can only get that on Xbox? That would force it to where people who wanted that would have to pick it up in Game or pick it up on Xbox. And literally even the attorney for Xbox was like, you mean that shit that PlayStation's doing with the game modes and the exclusive skins and the beta access? Did you even spend 5 minutes at looking at what PlayStation does with Call of Duty? And then straight up, it was like, oh, well, they paid money for that. They didn't do it because they owned it. And it's like same fucking thing. Same thing. Come on. Same thing.
Don't be stupid.
Yobi, funny thing about their concerns about Call of Duty, Phil kept the same energy about Call of Duty before the court case was a thing, offering all those 10 years deals. Yeah, yes, they offer, and that's why I mean, a lot of people sign those deals. And yeah, Def Leppard, yeah, if you guys go back and read some of the stuff that the FTC said in court, there's a reason why the FTC lost. And that was because they showed up with some of the dumbest arguments that you could have showed up with. I was shocked. I was just like, did you not do any like, you guys are paid way more money than a lot of us make in a freaking year, and you telling me in all of your freaking time of living a lifestyle that we could never fathom, you didn't spend 5-10 minutes figuring out what it is PlayStation does with Call of Duty? You're crazy. So getting back to it, and this is where obviously the caption here, be careful what you wish for. Because now we're starting to see Microsoft raising the price of Game Pass, changing the tiers, doing what they have to do to obviously keep Game Pass viable, but also to strengthen Game Pass subscriptions by incentivizing people to stay subscribed. And it's basically one of those things where I did a couple articles where Xbox Game Pass price hikes were inevitable. The fact that, and I'm not talking about anybody here in the show. I have a couple people that I would love to mention by name, but I'm not like that. But the fact that they acted like they were going to get all these games, all this stuff, the second coming of the Messiah with Activision Blizzard, and it was all going to just be handed to you free of charge because Microsoft is $1 trillion company and they run the world's biggest charity. No. They're $1 trillion company because they're a business. And a game analyst pointed out that Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass is set for a significant price increase, with Ultimate raising from $16.99 to $19.99 per month. Now, this is also a very small, minute price up increase. The change also comes alongside an introduction of a new standard tier at the previous Ultimate price, which offers a more limited game library and excludes day one access. So yes, depending on what version of Game Pass you're going to get now, you will not have access to day one first-party studio games. I'm still not clear on what that's going to mean for like third-party studio games, kind of like with Flintlock that's taking place tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they get more into that as they go, but let's just face it. It's still, dude, what Microsoft is offering value-wise, it's still a pretty damn good proposition at $20 a month. Like, you can go to I put out a tweet jokingly saying you could spend, I don't get it. People spend more money on this on alcohol, weed, OnlyFans, Twitch streamers, fast food, what have you, whatever your vice is, you're spending your money, a very large amount of money on it. And literally, video games are my vice. And $20 a month for still the library of games. The fact that I am right now playing Into the Deep or whatever it is. I know I'm bad with names. And then I'm going to play Flintlock also. There's a lot of stuff being delivered to me for my $20 a month. I'm perfectly fine with that. Now they're trying to say that like the need to offset rising costs and adapt to a subscription market that has plateaued. Yeah, they're like the subscription market is plateauing. And now we've got all these people that are trying to say that, oh, well, you know, people like nobody wants to buy Microsoft's version of Game Pass because they know it's trash or blah, blah, blah. And it's not that. It's gaming has plateaued. People are not interested. The people who want to play on PC are playing on PC. The people who want to play on their console are playing on their console. Still Wakes the Deep. Thank you. Was really good. Yeah, Still Wakes the Deep. I just got to the point where the crap happened to the oil rig and I just escaped the engineering section trying to get wherever the hell they're trying to send me. But that's where with the situation with Game Pass, sorry, distraction, trying to keep up, or even Yobi, Game Pass Mobile and Game Pass Family might be new tiers in the future. I got my money on the Family Pass because I believe it'll be a thing in the future. I know people who has 4 Game Pass subscriptions for their homes for family. Damn. See, that's what I mean. I really do wish Microsoft really would do the family plan, but maybe them having to restructure Game Pass is why the family plan appeared and then went away. But when it comes to this whole situation of what's going on, we can plainly see that this was inevitable because they're trying, like, the cost of games has gone up. We're not seeing as many people adopt into gaming because, like, the pandemic is over. People are not home. They're out there enjoying the lifestyles that they had before the pandemic, whether it's camping, hiking, race car driving, bicycling. We could really say sky's the limit. The people that were playing video games before the pandemic, they're still here. There is still people that probably do come in and dabble in video games that were exposed to them in the pandemic. And that's where Microsoft is trying to target that market audience by partnering with Amazon and creating avenues and ways for people to get back into video gaming without the console. That's why they're putting it in televisions. They're wanting to create the streaming stick idea with Amazon. And here's the thing. Yeah, Xbox right now could come out with their own streaming stick right now. But I really do think partnering with Amazon was a really good move because it's already a very sought after device. People can do a lot with these devices when it comes to being able to get the entertainment that they want and need. And there's even, I hate to say it, a huge piracy market where people use these jailbroken Amazon Fire Sticks to basically watch all this stuff. And that means that there's going to be people that are there's going to be a wide breadth of people that are going to have access to these Fire Sticks that are going to all of a sudden be like, oh, I could play Xbox on this thing. Interesting. So, and that's where, to me, it's more like, I like where the analysts were actually very, very point on in saying that the price hikes were inevitable to take place for Game Pass. And now they're even saying that we could potentially have more price hikes or new tiers in the future. In the summary, industry expert predicts that Xbox Game Pass might see additional price hikes on new subscription tiers as Microsoft seeks to enhance economic growth following its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Recent changes, including a significant price for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and the introduction of a new tier, have left some gamers confused and dissatisfied with Microsoft's approach. That's what really dissatisfied. My Netflix subscription has increased. My Hulu subscription has increased. My Disney Plus subscription has increased. All of my subscription services have increased. The fact that everybody seems to think that Microsoft is going to spend $70 billion on Activision Blizzard with not wanting to get any return on investment is exactly, Def Leppard said, it's crazy. But he's talking about Still Wakes the Deep, saying the game gets even crazier. But apparently also the video game community gets crazy too there, Def Leppard, because I'm just shocked on some of the loud minority of folks that feel that Microsoft needs to put all these games into Game Pass. They need to bring back backwards compatibility. They need to keep the servers going on these old games. They all talk about how Microsoft needs to spend money. But then when Microsoft is like, hey, we need you to spend a little bit more money. Oh my God, you're greedy. This is predatory. Am I right, Mickey?
I mean, yeah, when you put it that way, it's true. Because I'll be honest, when I first heard about it, I was a little confused, but with you and Blue and you guys talking about it, I mean, it makes sense. You know, they've got to make the money back somehow. I mean, that's a lot of freaking money that they spent. So, you know, they might be a, multi-billion-dollar company, but that's a lot of money they spent. So, they've got to make some of it back somehow. And, a few extra bucks. I mean, it's whatever. It's no bother to me. So, we get access to a shit ton of games. So I'm not going to complain.
Well, that's where I'm like, hey, $1 trillion company, I need you to spend X amount of millions of dollars on giving me backwards compatibility. I want Call of Duty games day one in Game Pass. We want this, we want that. And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, well, can I get $3 more a month out of you? Oh my God. It's like, really? Yeah, eventually everything goes up. Like, dude, does anybody here remember the dollar menu at McDonald's? Like, can you imagine 10, 15 years from now, we're going to be sitting on a porch somewhere, rocking in our rocking chair, telling kids like, oh yeah, I remember back in the days with a dollar menu at McDonald's. They're going to be like, there was a fucking dollar menu at McDonald's? What the hell?
Hey, the dollar store has even went up. So,
dude, I know. Instead, I know it first started off as the 99-cent store, then it became, okay, it's the dollar store. And now we got to honestly make it like, well, it was a dollar store. Like, dude, like the Dollar Tree actually has these like certain Dollar Trees. Cause it's like, my wife has found them where in certain sections, dude, they have stuff for like $5 to $25.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that too.
And same with the Oh my God, Five Below. Does anybody remember that the original title for Five Below was because everything in the damn store was supposed to be below $5? Go in there and try to do that shit now. Like, and
It's
horrible.
true. I mean, it's true.
It's horrible to say that. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's true.
I'm only laughing because the only thing we can do is laugh because, yeah, it does suck. Our paychecks don't go as further anymore. The cost of milk, eggs, bread, and butter has gotten completely out of effing control. Gas prices are like the freaking damn stock exchange. One moment it's good, the next minute it's like freaking like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And like, dude, when you're paying, like when $3 for a gallon of gas is like a good day for us anymore. Back in the day when I remember when gas was like $1 something.
99 cents.
Oh my God, yeah.
99 cents.
But that's where it's just like, yeah, I totally agree that it would be nice for some of these companies to be a little charitable. And I really do think that is the charitable side of Game Pass is like, I'm about to play Flintlock for which is $45 brand new. We're going to get access. So let's just think about this. We're going to get Flintlock, which is $45 brand new. I think, what's it called? Still Wakes the Deep. Oh my God. Now you're going to make me look it up. Still Wakes the Deep. Play blah, blah, blah. Play Still Wakes the Deep on Xbox. Now I'm going to probably get that whole freaking, you can play it now. Oh my. Hey, you can hear me, right? Because it's like, oh my God. Okay, it doesn't want to let me in. All right, whatever. I'm cut off from. Let's just assume that, the game. We'll just say for shits and giggles, it's $40. Because I'm pretty sure they're not going to charge an arm and a leg on that. We're gonna get Call of Duty, which is $70. We're gonna get oh my God, Avowed. Let's just say Avowed is gonna be $60. We're gonna get Indiana Jones. That's easily gonna be so. Right now, with the games that I know off the top of my head that I'm gonna play in Game Pass for the rest of the year, if I was to buy those games day one, $285.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So let's just see. Let's do so. $19.99 plus 8.6% tax rate, because that's how much it's going to cost here in Arizona, which comes out to $21.71 a month for Game Pass, that tier of Game Pass Ultimate. We're going to multiply that by 12. We're at $260. So therefore, I'm actually saving $15 on all those games, but that also doesn't include what other games they can put in there that I would play in between them. So the more I play in Game Pass, the more value I'm creating for myself. And then, like I said, let's think about this objectively. I have already slated to purchase. I've already purchased. I've already purchased my month of Game Pass, right? Which is $20. I have that slated because I budget my damn life out. I know I'm going to spend that $20. I was thinking about buying Flintlock. I was thinking about it. But then I was just like, you know what? I want to get some value out of my Game Pass subscription right now. So I'm probably going to play it in Game Pass. And chances are when it probably goes on sale, I'll end up with the damn game. But I just feel that maybe
that's true.
Because for me, it was like, you know what? Amazon Prime Day is right now. They actually have some really damn good deals on physical media when it comes to movies and television. And I'm going to say it right now. Yeah, I picked up some movies. Because Mickey has been to my house. He knows how I'm an avid collector of physical media.
Lots.
Yeah. And so I mean like physical media when it comes to movies. There is not there is video games here. But my movie collection will literally
It's vast.
Yeah, I was gonna say it will beat up my game collection, take its lunch money, and eat it alive.
It's vast. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's other tactics that you can use, Arnie, to get codes for Game Pass Ultimate, like through CD keys. And we saw, and like I like how everybody was just like, Xbox increased the price of Game Pass without giving us anything. And that's why I was like, I'm calling bullshit. They're getting ready to put like some of the Activision Blizzard games in there. I think they're adding content and they're just getting you guys ready to start paying for that content. So sorry. But Sony, they literally did raise the price of their subscription service. And no, they didn't just not give you anything for like anything more. They actually stripped features out of it with the price raise. That was kind of like a wow. Okay. Because, Vanny Kachik, I really do think that people need to keep that same energy when Sony increases the PlayStation Price Plus. I mean, the PlayStation Plus price. Oh, my freaking God. Now I'm flubbing damn words.
A little dyslexia there.
I need glasses, okay? They told me it was going to take. They told me it was going to take 2 damn weeks to get that shit to me. That I love Arnie. The first sign of the apocalypse will be when Costco raises the price of their $5 rotisserie chicken. They just raised the price of their membership, so I think that's how they're covering it. I still remember there was this one of the big guys over at Costco, one of the big executives had to come out and give a statement that they weren't going to raise the price on hot dogs.
I was just going to say that.
I was like, that's what I mean. That's how crazy shit is right now. We're like, oh no, please don't raise the price of the $1.25 hot dog and a drink at Costco.
I mean, you got to give him props though that he stuck to that.
I do gotta give him props.
That's pretty cool.
Because I'm still wondering how the fuck is this $1.25?
Them and the guy that runs the Arizona Iced Tea.
Yes.
They're straight up 99 cents still.
Well, now we're getting articles where apparently the Frito-Lay's company has heard everybody's demands on. Apparently, they are tired of overpriced bags of potato chips. And dude, I would have to say the cost of a bag of potato chips has gotten out. And now, does anybody remember? How about this? Does anybody remember when the bag of chips was actually filled all the way up with chips?
Yep.
Where are you at, Arnie? That's $1. Wait a minute. Is it $1.50 or $1.25? Did I flub that too? I think it is $1.50. Okay, yeah, it is. I had somebody just verify that it was $1.50 at Costco. My bad.
I mean,
but still a buck and a half
good.
for a hot dog and a drink. When you could go to Sonic and buy a hot dog for I think like almost $4 for just the hot dog, and it's not even anywhere near the size.
Right.
I know, dude. You're basically buying air in those bags. For sure. And they try to sit there and it's like they're trying to you see, we're actually putting air in there to make sure that the chips don't get damaged during shipping. And you're just like, bullshit. Nope. You're just trying to make the bag look bigger because there ain't nothing in it.
I don't care if the chips get broke. They're still going to be in the bag.
Dude, I remember watching I think it was on TikTok. I watched some dude buy like the actual dollar store bag of Funyuns and it opened it up and I think there was like 4 Funyuns.
That's
oh my God.
That's
like here I would like a tease. Yeah. Oh, this dollar bag of Funyuns. Yes, that sounds great. Dude, you for real. Twinkies and dude, I remember when oatmeal cream pies were freaking huge. Now you got to buy to get the original oatmeal cream pie, they sell it for like a higher price, but the ones that come in the box are like teeny as hell.
They're small, yeah.
Dude, I still dude, I remember when dude, I remember when you would get like a decent burger out of a fast food joint, and now they're starting to rival a White Castle burger.
Well, I mean, McDonald's, their small burgers are super expensive. It's crazy,
I know, right?
ridiculous.
So that's what I mean. It's just like, at least I'm saying the $1 trillion company may not be a charity, but they're also not out here being predatory. They asked me for an extra $3 a month for giving me a lot of content into the under the guise that they're going to continue giving me content. And guess what? The games I just listed off, the only one of them from the ABK library is the new Call of Duty that's getting ready to come out. And so we all know that some of the older stuff that I'm looking forward to will eventually make its way in there. And that's why I say the more you use your Game Pass subscription, the more value you're going to
getting out of it
yourself. Yeah. And that's where people don't it's like, no, it's like, oh, Xbox gamers don't want to buy games. No, you know what the funny part is? I told myself money's crazy right now. Money's a little tight. I'm going to take my $45 for Flintlock and I'm going to buy some movies on Amazon Prime Day. Or I can also be like, you know what? I'm going to take the money that I was going to use on Indiana Jones and buy a game that, like, let's face it, Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to come out in November. Yeah. That's going to be about $130 game if you buy the big I'm all in big boy package.
Yep, and we are buying the big boy package, by the way.
Yeah, right. Mickey's telling me what I got to do. No, I'm playing. But no, but that's why I'm just saying. So the $70 that I'm not going to spend on Indiana Jones is going to go right back into the Xbox ecosystem anyways. And right. Microsoft is going to get their 30% off of selling that game on the Xbox marketplace. But also, they also know that I'm probably going to be a sucker anyways and just wait until the game goes on sale. And when the game kind of hits a price point that I'm like, you know what, I'll buy it for that. And then I'll end up putting it in my damn library anyways, even though I'm pretty sure they're going to keep it in that tier. Now, unless somehow... See, that the whole thing is, guys, I do buy games even though they are in Game Pass, because the thing is, there is the part of me that I always think that one day we could see Game Pass actually stop offering first-party studio games day and date. It'd be a shitty day. Would I be happy about it? No. But at least I could also sit there and say, well, at least I've been planning for it. And I don't got to hurry up and try to buy all these damn games at once that, you know, freaking that are going to be out of this. I don't know. It just, you know, damn well, like, it's kind of like how it happens with like Forza right now. Anybody who was like waiting to play Forza 4 all of a sudden is like, well, you got to buy it now before you don't have it. So. Well, what do you think, Mickey? Like, really kind of give me your 2 cents. You want to add any more?
No, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Oh, so
you know,
ramble on.
No.
Okay. I'm digging the podcast, having to stay in. Thank you, Peanut Brooks. I'm digging the podcast, having to stay inside. It's 98 degrees at 10:30 here in Phoenix. We're here in Phoenix too. So I'm up North Phoenix, Mickey's in South Phoenix, and we feel you on that bullshit.
That's a good word for it.
Yes, definitely, guys. It's like, yes. Yeah, Forza 4 is being delisted because of licensing with the music and the cars. But that's where I just always, to me, if it's a game that I love, I want to have access to it. Like, I actually own the Master Chief Collection. I own I have a physical copy of Sea of Thieves running around in this house. I have a physical copy of State of Decay 2 running around in here. At one point in time, I had a physical copy of Gears 4. And then I ended up getting it digitally. And that's like, so I do own games that are in Game Pass. I am not against owning the games that I love, because I do live my life that if I was to stop paying for Game Pass, whether it was because Microsoft did something that made me angry, or maybe I didn't have the money for Game Pass, at least I've been preemptive and I've been acquiring the games that I would like to have in my library ahead of the time. Damn, I thought Florida was hot. Yeah, see here, Florida, you guys at least, I'm going to say it right now. One thing I'm grateful for here in the desert is it's mostly a dry heat. When it rains, oh my God, it turns into a different world out there when we have these hot days and it rains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody calls us a dry heat, but when monsoon hits, it's not dry. It's very hot and it's very freaking wet.
And then it creates all the mosquitoes and you just want to freaking go crazy. The mosquitoes and flies and gnats.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, if you buy the Forza DLC, you'll get a copy of Forza for free. I thought they were only doing that for people that actually already bought the DLC, or are they doing that across the board, Yobi? Because I will say I didn't hear about that. Oh, I know. Physical, yeah, like physical, billing us. Physical games died in the PS3 generation, mate. Try playing physical game with a brand new console that is yet to be updated and it won't work. I would agree. Yeah, definitely you need them to be updated. But that's where I've also been a little bit crazy. And fuck. First time ever we'll freaking. There's a PS3 sitting right there on that shelf, and right above it is an Xbox 360. And there's a funny little story about that PS3. I was helping somebody clean out their home, and he basically told me to throw that PS3 in the dumpster, and he had no cables for it, no controller, and that's why I wanted to throw it away. And he's like, yeah, I got that thing, and I like moved, and I barely used it, and I lost all the stuff during the move. And yeah, when I opened, like, cause I cleaned it and refurbished it a little bit, there was no dust inside that damn thing. It was barely used. And what made me feel is a little egregious about him trying to throw that PS3 away. It actually has the door on it for the SD cards. So it's actually a Gen 1 PS3. It's got the built-in PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility. Yeah, so that's where just, it sucks that, yeah, things inevitably go up. It sucks that obviously our paychecks don't go as far as we would like them to or how they used to. But I definitely also don't want to look at like Microsoft being the big bad wolf of gaming, or as this big bad wolf of a company, because they asked me for extra $3. Yeah, the original PS3s, like the first gens, actually had built-in PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility. Then the newer models, they took that out and you had to actually like download it off of the store. And then eventually I think they actually stopped offering it. And that was for select games. It didn't work with every damn game, kind of like Xbox One did with the 360. But it was still one of those things where, PlayStation at one time really did think about stuff like that. And for whatever reason, when they went into the PS4, like as soon as the PS3 era started, a short time later, they were like, screw it. Why are we trying to do that? What's up, Pyro? Morning to you, sir. I'm the same. I play games in Game Pass, but no third-party game is going to be in the service forever. So I bought plenty of games that were in the subscription that I love. I did. There's one on my radar right now that actually just went on sale for those that, just in case. what is it? Lies of P was just dropped down to I think $36. And I played that game on Game Pass, and now I actually have this weird love for games that are very punishing. And yeah, Lies of P, I would definitely have even thought, I was like, now that I know how to play the damn game and I went through it, I wondered how good it would be to New Game Plus it and actually go through and play the game with the abilities and the weapons that you already unlocked and just kind of keep that ball rolling. Oh, shocking. What's the shocking Xbox news? Apparently people are still talking about, like, dude, people won't leave it alone. The Game Pass hike. And you got to know, dude, let's face it. It is a way of just creating interest in the podcast. It's not that I'm trying to like clickbait anybody, but technically them raising the price of Game Pass and them changing the tiers was shocking news for certain individuals. But for probably like-minded individuals like you, me, and everybody here that probably can accept the fact that, you know, it was inevitable for the price of Game Pass to go up, it wasn't shocking to us. Mari, I used to buy a lot of physical media growing up, but I don't have the same feeling for physical media as I get older. I feel the same way. Especially the reason why it is with video games is because you can download them. The reason why I am with physical media with movies is it just purely has to do with I'm like I guess you would say like a picture junkie or a resolution whore. I really love 4K video, especially when it's done right. And to really get true 4K, you got to have a physical disc so that way you get the correct bit rate and compression and you don't lose your audio. Like me and my buddy at work were talking about it today, that it drives you nuts when you're trying to watch a show on a streaming service and you literally watch it go from 1080p down to like 480, back up to 1080, maybe might climb close to like 4K, drops back down to 720. That's just like, no. So for me, that's why I do the physical media thing with movies and television. But I'm also very selective when it comes to that. Like I actually like having the really hard to find classic shit that a lot of streaming services don't even put up anymore. Like, oh my God. Like, here's one, does anybody remember the sci-fi movie Wing Commander with Freddie Prinze Jr.? Mickey, you remember that one?
I don't.
Yeah, I think I have that maybe on Blu-ray or it might be on DVD, but that was like a very strange movie that honestly was a very interesting take on sci-fi that I thought was really cool. Or how about Battlefield Earth with John Travolta as the psycho alien?
I actually never saw that one.
That movie was actually a flop in theaters. Definitely, that movie was a straight flop in theaters. But I have it here on its here. How about this, guys? If you want to know how hardcore my freaking collection is here's I actually have on a physical 2-sided disc on DVD the Ewoks, The Great Adventure, and Ewoks, The Battle for Endor. Anybody that grew up on Star Wars knows what the hell an Ewok is. We'll just put it that way. Yeah, Tubi actually has a lot of classics on there. Yeah, the game Wing Commander. Yeah, see, it was based off of a game. I'll have to loan you that one, Mickey. It was definitely a cool little, it was like, dude, it had Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Perry as the main characters. And for those of that don't know who Matthew Perry is, he actually played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, the original live action movie. And he was also one of the killers in the original Scream movie.
Are you going to put it on Vudu?
Oh, no, it's a physical thing. I don't have It's a physical thing. Like I probably could buy it on Vudu, but it would be one of the ones that I would have to loan you the disc.
I don't have anywhere to play it.
Oh my God, you got rid of your Xbox One completely?
Well, I gave mine to my brother Troy, but he broke it. So
but you said you also have a PS4.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say the PS4 has a drive.
Forget about that. My bad. I keep forgetting about that. My fault. That I have a PS4.
Short Circuit. James Thomas just jumped out with Short Circuit. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard Short Circuit in a long time.
Hey, how about
Hudson
Flight
Hawk
of the Navigator?
Bruce Willis never gets old. And Chandler from Friends, R.I.P. Yes. Oh my gosh. What was his name? Oh my God, I forget freaking Chandler's name. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm horrible on that one, Mickey. Do you remember Chandler's actual actor name?
The guy that played Chandler in Friends, what was his name? Do you remember?
Oh shit, my bad. Matthew Perry was his name. Then who played? Oh my God, I'm getting names bad. Bad.
No, not Chandler. Not Matthew Perry, the other guy. No, not David Schwimmer.
Matthew Lillard was the guy who played in Wing Commander with Freddie Prinze Jr. That's the one who played Shaggy. And then Matthew Perry played freaking Chandler. See, I told you guys I'm bad with names, but I could sit here and talk.
Got a couple names mixed up. He's got it right now.
Yeah, we could sit here and talk forever about just different freaking movies that like we've all grown up on. And see, that's the funny part. Like let's take the movie The Abyss. You remember the movie The Abyss?
I've heard of it.
Oh my God, the underwater movie where they're like down there, like plot. They're underwater and they run into like the aliens under the water.
No, I haven't watched it.
So that movie just got its Blu-ray. I mean, it's just got its 4K release not even a few months ago. And dude, it got so restrictive on that movie, you couldn't even stream it. I actually had to go to Zia Records and find the DVD version of the director's cut. And I've honestly thought about getting it when I find it pretty cheap on 4K, but I wanted to see that movie so bad I went and found it on DVD. Leviathan was another crazy one, Arnie, but yeah, the Abyss was about the oil drilling platform that was like required to go help some military guys go find a nuclear submarine that was sank for no reason. And then they come to find out it was sank because they were busy trying to chase one of the aliens that lived under the water. It was done with Ed Harris. It was actually one of James Cameron's first big movies, like alongside with Aliens. And then Leviathan, that was about the guys that were like on the bottom of the ocean. I think it was like a research laboratory and they got exposed to it. You want to talk about another one that was crazy underwater, Sphere.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
Yeah, they find a spaceship underwater that's been there for like a long time. And they find out that the spaceship is actually from future Earth and it crash landed there. And they're like, what? Cause it's a crazy freaking movie, Sphere. Oh, The Fly. Oh my God. That was before oh my God. Oh my God. Who's the guy that played in Jurassic Park that wore glasses, Mickey?
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, The Fly.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum, yeah. He was also in Thor too.
Right. No, dude. Okay. Pyro, not only did The Abyss actually change the technology that was used in movies, it also made James Cameron one of the world's foremost experts in underwater photography and underwater robotics when it comes to that kind of stuff. And like when we had that oil pipeline break in the Gulf of Mexico, James Cameron was actually one of the guys that the U.S. government went to and was like, hey, we need your expertise because this thing's destroying the ocean and we need to fix it. And like, yeah, James Cameron is so smart. He actually built his own submarine and dived the Mariana Trench, which is actually one of the deepest parts in the ocean by itself. And that's why, like, it sounds crazy, but he really knew his crap when it comes to building a submarine. And that's why when all that stuff went down about that submarine, about those poor souls that were lost diving the Titanic, James Cameron even did an interview where he told the guy who built that submarine to not build it that way because James Cameron was like, that was dangerous. And so, yeah, even James Cameron's a very smart guy. But all right. Yeah, we're digressing. We're going down the realm of like just talking about random movies. We should do that one day, Mickey. Just have like a movie day where we just kind of just talk about random stuff, and we'll have to like get everybody to kind of start telling us on Twitter like what movies or how the discussion should go. Are we going to go like, you know, talk about old school and what we're happy about new age, or just vice versa, whatever. But
I'd be down.
I know, man, because, dude, going to the... Like, here's Mickey. Mickey's a big Fast and the Furious fan. Fast and the Furious...
Well, I like Fast and the
Fast.
Furious. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but...
But if you... I'm just saying, what do you think what do you think... Well, like, right now, Fast and the Furious then or Fast and the Furious now? That's the question.
I'd say then.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's got a little Michael Bay-ish. Like I still remember like playing the video. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be on a rocket ship and we're going to almost accidentally get into outer. Like when they put Ludacris in outer space, I was like, all right, this is fucking what is going on? All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out tonight. It was a great discussion. I love seeing every single one of you all the time on in the chat. We really appreciate every single one of you that decided to join in the discussion tonight. Thank you to all those that watch the show after the fact or even watch the show without getting in the chat. Always feel free when these shows go down to get in the chat. Tell us what you think. We like to be a very interactive show. That's the easy part of it being just two of us here. We're not this great, big, massive podcast where we got 6, 7, 8 people that got a drone on for like 20, 30 minutes a piece, and then it just turns into a marathon. Nope.
We want to store fest.
I know. We want to have these conversations with you guys because at the end of the day, you're the ones that are taking the time out of here to listen to us drone on. So we would really always want to be able to engage with you guys. So we're here. We try to be here every Wednesday night. I'm getting back in the swing of things. My situation looks like it's healed up. So definitely I'm glad that's over with. I'm Centurion 1307 for this channel, aka also Phil. This is my buddy Mickey. Tell them where they can find you if they want to.
On Xbox.
Psychosemantic.
Psychosemantic. is my name.
Just look for the falling in reverse symbol.
That's right.
Yes, definitely everybody. Thank you, Pyro. He says hit that like button before you leave and have a great weekend gaming, everybody. And that definitely is I couldn't have said it any better, everybody. So please hit the like button. Everybody have a great weekend. We thank every single one of you for being here. And until next week, everybody, just keep gaming and stay safe out there.
Have a good day. Have fun.